What are some interesting or fun Christmas traditions you follow? My grandparents on my mom's side would hide a pickle ornament in the tree. We keep red poppies from Remembrance Day and put them on that year's Christmas tree. As a kid I came down early twice to see the presents. My parents came up with a genius tradition that I will be carrying on with my kids. My parents purchased large gold chocolate coins and lay them on the floor like a treasure trail downstairs when Santa had arrived. I remember waking up opening a creak in the door not seeing coins, so I sprinted back to be scared that Santa would catch me awake and not come. Simple and cost-effective way to keep your kids in bed, clapping hands. On Christmas Eve every single year my family eat pizza and watch the Muppet Christmas Carol. None of us are sure how this tradition started, but it's been a constant for the last 23 years. Opening all the presents then passing them around to figure out whose they are. This one isn't as personal, but more of a cultural thing. I love Noche Buena, imagine a New Year's Eve party but for Christmas. Everybody's eating and drinking to their heart's content. There's a huge roasted pig sitting on the dinner table, the uncles are outside smoking and drinking whiskey, singing karaoke, the aunties are drinking wine and playing mahjong cards, and the kids are running around screaming while the teens are just packed up in some room upstairs gossiping or playing some game together. Come midnight we have a little cheers, maybe let some of the young ones drink a bit and gamble with us, and we just hang out as one huge family until the sun comes up and we send off everyone with a little gift exchange. The Christmas family ham off. My sisters and I would always argue there is never enough Christmas ham. Anytime one of us goes into the kitchen on Christmas Day we have a habit of cutting a slice of the Christmas ham, and by dinner the portions are small. There was never any left for Boxing Day cold meat platters. So, out of necessity, the great family ham-off was born. We each buy a Christmas ham and try to out-ham one another. It is glorious. Traditional, glazed, spicy jerk, curried, cola, Dr. Peppered, and more have all featured. And size definitely matters. Eventually an impartial guest chooses a winner and awards the trophy, a wooden spoon wrapped in Christmas ribbon with ham off winner emblazoned, to be hung in the winner's kitchen with pride all year round. It is a competition, but because there is more ham, everyone's a winner. My tradition is every year when I do my Christmas shopping in Tesco/Sainsbury's or wherever I pick someone completely at random and I pay for the Christmas shopping. I have been doing it for last 10 years. I wait until all their shopping has been scanned in and the cashier says that will be £X20, and when the customer is getting out their card I'll say them that they dropped something on the floor and then jump in and either do it contactless or put my card in, quickly enter in my PIN and tell them, "Happy Christmas," and walk off. I know what it's like to be poor, and especially over Christmas it's really hard. I grew up in a poor household in Ireland. Moved to the UK for work and now have a good stable job and own my house. A random act of kindness from a stranger can really cheer people up. ESP this year. I never tell anyone other than my other half that I did it. Just made an account / on my phone. Long time lurker etc etc. I miss the Christmas tradition my ex and I established. We had 3 years of making a blanket fort in the living room on Christmas Eve, sleeping in it all bundled up in blankets and duvets with our 2 cats and watching Die Hard. This year is my 2nd year without that, and it's one of the few things I actually really miss about our relationship, and it really hits home hard that after 16 years together we now don't speak at all. The only tradition I ever enjoyed was this massive 8+ hour gingerbread house making party where absolutely everything had to be edible. We'd plan out our houses and sketch designs and everything. I did a Willy Wonka theme, complete with making my own Oompa Loompas, a rock candy waterfall, and magic shell chocolate river. It was glorious. This isn't a family tradition, but for the past few years I've been giving my elf on the shelf a mini liquor bottle. It started when I was a newly minted 21-year-old in college. I got the elf on the shelf and thought, wouldn't it be funny if this thing was an alcoholic? So I went and got a little bottle of Jägermeister and the tradition has carried on. We'd always set our alarms for the same time if I slept over, then sort the gifts from under the tree into a pile for each person, and take turns opening them. Mom would write down every gift from someone out of town, so we could properly thank them in a letter. Every so often it would be the dog's turn to open one of his gifts, which kept him occupied. A hyper-standard poodle racing around is only fun for so long, lol. Through it all, we'd have small snacks of cheese and crackers. Now that I think about it, we're ridiculously scheduled and organized, smiley face. My wife's family has a tradition of re-gifting a Justin Bieber singing toothbrush. I don't know how or why it started, but as a kid Mum would let me open one present on Christmas Eve. It was usually her pick, so the more surprising presents were saved for Christmas Day. Eventually this tradition evolved into the Christmas Eve present being new pajamas to wear, so I was always in something comfy and warm the night before Christmas. Now with my little brother about, we still do it, and it's something I want to continue. Starting the movie Die Hard at 9:57 p.m. on Christmas Eve so that Hans Gruber falls from the Nakatomi building at exactly midnight, as is traditional. My family always chooses the ugliest tree from the Christmas tree farm. Sometimes we even opt for a completely different type of tree. One year we had a yucca tree. Impish or admirable? In Sweden, all kids gets to meet Santa on Christmas Eve, the 24th. We celebrate Christmas on the 24th, that's the big day for us. We, at least in our family, put our gifts under the Christmas tree and open them on the evening of the 24th. And then sometime during the evening, Santa Claus comes knocking on the door with a big sack of more Christmas presents, reads on the labels, "Merry Christmas, kid's name / wishes from Mum," etc., and hands it out to the kids, and the adults usually gets presents from Santa too. And #X200B. The big mystery and excitement for me as a kid was to figure out who dressed up as Santa, as the person always wore a mask so that you couldn't see who it was. Of course, sometimes we knew who it was because Dad missed Santa Claus. But when all family members were present during Santa's visit, I remember being really confused about who it was. Years later, when I was in my 20s, I found out that it was our neighbor's mum or something that dressed up as Santa. That's the Swedish Christmas traditions. Thought it would be interesting for some of you to know. So my school friends and I have a get-together every December 23rd. It has been dubbed Christmas Eve, and it's the one day of the year where we always make the effort, no matter what, to get together. We're in our early 30s, some of us are married, having kids, moving round the country. We can go the full year without seeing each other. But December 23rd we all pile into a hometown pub with Jenga and Cards Against Humanity and catch up and laugh until we are too drunk to form complete sentences. I love it. Because we're getting older, and it's harder to see each other now, but every Christmas Eve is like we've never been apart. This year we're doing a Zoom call and I can't wait. All my brothers are spread over, and at Christmas when we all come together we climb into the parents' bed in the morning and open our stockings. The four of us are in our 20s and 30s and are all 6 feet plus. Cramming in that bed is my favorite time of the year. My sisters and I exchange homemade ornaments every year. It's really special, especially since we all live far away from one another and don't get to see each other often. I live in a community with a very large amount of homeless, so all December we give out bags that contain socks, gloves, beanies, water, food and hygiene items, and occasionally jackets or blankets, to all the homeless that we see. This year, because of staying home due to COVID, we have sadly been unable to do this. I also bake cookies for all the kids on our street. The kids come by to sing me a few lines of A Christmas Carol and get their cookie and cocoa, and a little trinket, a puzzle or coloring book, nothing extravagant. This will be the 4th annual carrot launching. We basically get drunk and launch carrots out of wine bottles with baking soda and vinegar. Each year gets more elaborate, smoke, fireworks, video/editing, etc. It's a beautiful tradition that has seen 3 countries now. Swim at the beach before opening presents. Done this with the fam for as long as I can remember. Imagine. My family goes over to my grandfather's house and we have a bunch of Mexican food. It's as simple as that. I'm in charge of breakfast duties, and everyone raves about my Egg McMuffins. So every year it is tasked to me to make them. Somewhere in the range of 20 to 30 for the house denizens and close family that pop by in the morning. They rave about the flavor that comes off of the sandwiches. It's pepper. I pepper the eggs, along with salt, because otherwise they are bland lol.